Well, now it's the turn of the football team here at the JW Stadium. The Wigan counterparts Rugby League took place in the first match of this Super League season last night against the Warrington Wolves. It's the turn of the Latics here in this nationwide league Division 2 clash against a Swindon Town side who have struggled of late in the second division this season. They currently find themselves 20th in the second division table. Of course, under the leadership of Andy King these days, they found it tough going, not of course by a 3-1 defeat at home to a much improving Luton Town side, and alongside that disappointing result on the travels also. And on now to Latics, who've had somewhat of an eventful week to say the least. A couple of signings, and of course the shock resignation of their manager Bruce Rioch, who was asked to be released from his contract middle of the week. That of course didn't stop the club going ahead with their two new signings from Motherwell, Stephen McMillan and Lee McCulloch, both made their debuts this afternoon in a much changed Wigan Athletic side. We'll quickly run through the two sides. We'll start our visitors from Swindon Town, who have Steve Mindenhall in goal. Wearing 6 is Antonian van der Linden. Wearing 22 is a vastly experienced centre-half Alan Reeves. At 19 is Matthew Haywood. Wearing 29 is Jay Williams. At number 11 is David Duke. Wearing 17 for the Robins this afternoon is Danny Invincible. Look out for him this afternoon. He's already got 8 goals this season for the Swindon Town outfit. And number 4 is Fraser McHugh. 25 is Steve Robinson. Number 18 is Gary Alexander, and 16 is Michael Reddy. And now on to the substitutes for the Robins. They have Bart Greenmack, who's already been sent off twice this season for Swindon. He's not managed to forage himself back into the first team reckoning. At 3 is Sol Davis, who's one of these other players who's spent much time out due to suspension. 10 is Giuliano Grazioli. Wearing 5 is Adam Willis, and number 30 is Gareth Hall. And now on to the Latics, who have Roy Carroll in goal. He of course came back into the side at Northampton Town last weekend. At 2 is Carl Bradshaw. Wearing 5 is Stuart Barmer. 6 is the captain for the Latics these days, Arian Dazu. Wearing 20 is Jed Brannan. And number 37, one of the debutants this afternoon for the Latics, is Stephen McMillan. He's going to go alongside Jed Brannan at half the midfield. At 10 is Lee Ashcroft. Wearing 22 is Darren Sheridan. At 38 is the other debutant this afternoon, Lee McCulloch. He'll be up front. 36 is Peter Beagley, who's back into the first team fray after the injury that was suffered against Bristol Rovers a couple of weeks ago. And number 7 is Andy Liddell. And now on to the subs for Latics. They have Pat McGibbon, Derek Stilley, Scott Green, Neil Roberts and Kevin Nichols. The referee for this afternoon's clash is Mr. Robinson, who's going to keep order as it leaves Swindon Town to kick off in their familiar red shirt and white shorts. Latics, of course, in their familiar blue. Early contest in the midfield there involving Andy Liddell. It'll certainly be interesting to see how the Latics adapt. One or two changes to personnel. Of course, a change in the management team as well, with Colin Greenall now taking charge of current first team affairs. There's Arian Dazu with a commanding header clear. Liddell knocking it down the centre, easily dealt with by Haywood. Carl Bradshaw, who seems to have positioned himself in a sweeper role this afternoon for Wigan Athletic, alongside Arian Dazu and Stuart Farmer. Ball not forward. Liddell's onside. The chance there if Liddell can bring it down. He's got two in the box. Far post is lurking. There's an opportunity there, but it's well took. Splendid catch at far post by Wyndon Hall. Took it right off the head of Lee McCulloch. So good early start there for the Swindon Town goalkeeper. Good challenge from Darren Sheridan, who's playing at left wing back this afternoon for the Latics. There's a ball fed over the top. Invincible looking to get around the left hand channel. Stuart Barmer's come across to greet him. Barmer did enough. Liddell's ball over the top. That's a lot of Ashcroft, but he'll continue to chase it down. Alan Reeves is the covering defender, and does well in clearing the danger. Early touch for the Wigan goalkeeper Roy Carroll. Firmly established back at Wigan as the number one. Ball played over the top. Ashcroft very encouraged to get on the end of it. Header back to the goalkeeper was a good firm one. It needed to be by Matthew Haywood. Ball played down the line. Harry Ndazu will just do his utmost to shepherd it out of play, and does just that. It's a slight jig in the formation for Latics this afternoon. Peter Beagrey appears to be playing in a central midfield role alongside Jem Brannan. Millen's on the left hand side, and McCulloch is up alongside Ashcroft up front. That's Brannan's header. Ashcroft trying to flick it on. Not back by the Reeves, just going to toe on it. Opportunities almost for McCulloch. Reeves just stretched out the left boot in time. Beagrey trying to play it through the channel. It was put out of play by Haywood. Latics trying to make inroads down the left hand side. Ashcroft couldn't control that pacey ball into the centre. Aaron does it up well. Sheridan with the flick on. Beagrey trying to get on the end of it, but it's dealt with on this near side by James Williams. Certainly a lot at stake for both sides this afternoon. The Latics, of course, who've just slipped out of the automatic playoff picture. Swindon Town, of course, on the brink of the relegation places. Good ball from Jeb Brannan. Utilised Stuart Barmer well. Barmer trying to play it down the channel. McCulloch will look to get on the end of it, and in the end he will settle for the first corner of the match. The Latics have made a bright opening here. One or two balls played down the channels, looking to get around the back of this Robins defence. And they've managed to forage the first corner of the game. Swindon Town very bold in leaving two strikers up on the halfway line. Corner taken short to Andy Liddell. Little tried to play it to Bradshaw. Bradshaw has been out-muscled. And Swindon have it back. Silky skills there. Ball played down the challenge. It's McMillan with the covering work for Wigan. Well, an interesting one because the linesman who's right on the touchline there didn't see an infringement, and the referee, who was a good 30 yards away, penalised McMillan for the challenge. So an opportunity for both Matt Haywood and Alan Reeves up from the back. Latics trying to hold the line on the edge of the penalty spot. Swung into near post. Volleyed clear by Arian Dazoo. Piece is picked up by Williams, but his pass is out of play. Bradshaw trying to find McMillan. It was well cut out on this near side. Arian Dazoo happy to allow it to go out for the throw-in. Header from Reeves. Touch forward by McMillan. McCulloch's header in field looking for Beagrie. McCulloch once more. Controlling. Can he get the ball through? He's trying his utmost, but he was being held back. Number 25, Steve Robinson, and Wigan have the free kick. Quickly taken into Beagrie. Beagrie tried to skip away from two challenges, couldn't do so. Latics pick up the pieces once more in the shape of Darren Sheridan. Tried to play it short to Beagrie, but intercepted by Williams. Millen got away from the one challenge, but couldn't keep the ball in play on the near side. Ball touched forward. Ready, encouraged to chase, but Barmer with the cushion header back to his goalkeeper. We're going to start the attack through their skipper, Arian Dazoo. Dazoo once more, and Reeves will allow it to go out of play. Good touch from Michael Reddy. Now Swindon looking to change the angle of the attack. Invincible trying to control it. Little is the covering Wigan defender, and Andy Little has done really well. Knocks it down the channel. Ashcroft will be encouraged to chase. Reeves should get there first. And it's time to find his goalkeeper. Looks done really well to elude one challenge, but covering defensive work from Alan Reeves. Peter Beagrie picking the ball up in the centre of midfield, finds McMillan on this near side, who's predominantly playing on the left hand side of the midfield this afternoon. Ball over the top for Sheridan, it's asking a lot of him to keep it in play. They can't quite do so. Darren Sheridan certainly has the licence to roam forward from the left wing-back position that he vacates. Always knows that there's good cover behind him in the shapes of Arian Dazoo and Carl Bradshaw. Good header from Brannan. That turns the Swindon Town defenders around. Barmer's header up. 2 20s in the midfield collide. Brannan puts it over the top, looking for Ashcroft. Reeves should get there first. He happily puts it into the Swindon Town contingent on the far side. Ashcroft with the control on the chest. Little's ball into the area, looking for McCulloch. McCulloch's headed towards goal. And the first strike in anger brings out a comfortable save for the Swindon keeper. But Lee McCulloch making his presence felt early on, towering above the Swindon defence and getting a header towards goal. Carroll eventually getting a clearance away. Knocked back by Van der Linden. Zoo. McCulloch dummies the ball. Obviously it's going to take a while for himself and Lee Ashcroft to form a partnership up front for the Latics. Good challenge from Arian Dazoo. It needed to be. It was good forward running. Beagrie controls on the chest. Can't get past the challenge. The referee didn't like the tackle. Beagrie quick to apologise to James Williams. Williams, of course, has had a lengthy spell out through injury. He's managed to forage himself back into first team action in the last 5 or 6 weeks for Swindon Town. So doesn't want to pick up another injury. There's the free kick aimed into the area, headed away by McCulloch, doing some defensive work. Latics forcing Swindon back. Robinson has to knock the ball left, and in the end Wigan bring it away. Sheridan. Ashcroft wanted it through the centre. He's trying to stay on side. Swindon holding a good line. Ashcroft in turn switches the angle of attack, and it's just too far ahead of Andy Little on this occasion. But Ashcroft had found plenty of space through the centre, but the Swindon players were always pushing up, looking to catch him offside. Good header from Reeves, ahead of Ashcroft. Brown wants to take the throw in quickly. Beagrie now looking to make inroads down the far side. Can't elude the challenge of Robinson, who did well to track the run. Forward by Fraser. Dazoo's volley clearance, but there's an offside. Ashcroft from a retreating position. Dazoo up well. Beagrie's touch on. Reeves his header back. Ball played through the centre. Dazoo wants his goalkeeper to come, and it was a bit mystified as to why Carl didn't come and claim that through ball. Eventually the Wigan skipper had to clear the danger. It could be a lengthy throw-in from Matt Hayward on this near side. Needs clear by Jeb Brannan. Ashcroft trying to turn it in field early, couldn't quite find the run of Darren Sheridan. And Reeves did well to draw 2 Wigan players to him. Williams. Bradshaw in strongly. Ready, but interception from McMillan. Now this is Jeb Brannan. Brannan looking for Ashcroft on this near side. Picks him with a great ball. Brannan can now run at the Swindon defence, looking for options ahead of him. In the end, played it square, but to Danny Invincible, the Swindon Town midfielder. And that's Swindon on the counter-attack. Obama turned round, ready, looking to make the inroads, has Invincible in field. Zazu did well to stretch. Sheridan hasn't cleared the danger yet. Eventually Bradshaw puts his left boot through it. Hayward with a good header. This is Steve Robinson putting a ball into the area. Get a second chance. Swindon looking to threatening at the moment. David Duke on the edge of the area. Now James Williams, encouraged to move in field. No Wigan man going to greet him at the moment. Hughes ball into the area, headed clear by Carl Bradshaw. Sheridan, and he's gone down injured in that challenge. Didn't get anywhere near the ball. Wigan have it back. This is Lee Ashcroft. Ashcroft can carry the ball forward. Brings the man in, but it's a poor pass and frustration builds much more from the Latics faithful. McCulloch had peeled away on the far side, looking for the ball. Couldn't be found with a pass. Brannan. Ashcroft trying to stay on side. McMillan wanted the ball. Wanted it far earlier, and Brannan elected to hold on to it. Liddell looking through the centre for Ashcroft. Not the worst ball in the world. Milton Hall gathers on the edge of the box. Sheridan with a good touch. Beagrie moving in field. Liddell in acres of room, finds him. What a glorious ball that is. Andy Liddell through the goal. Can he finish? Liddell shoots towards goal and screws it just wide. First opportunity of the match. Peter Beagrie with a splendid crossfield ball right into the path of Andy Liddell, who found acres of room on the far side. Never really had full control of the ball. In the end, the shot was somewhat of a tame effort, certainly by Andy Liddell's standards. It was always going past the post. Beagrie up well. Ashcroft trying to make a nuisance. This is Sheridan. Battling away in midfield. Good challenges from Williams, and Ashcroft closing it down well, doing really well. And the ball played through by McCulloch. In the end here, Ashcroft not quite on the save wavelength, but some good determination there from the Wigan players. Darren Sheridan leading the way. McCulloch also getting involved. Bradshaw takes over. Brannan makes a forward run. Bradshaw looking for that run. Finds him with a splendid pass. Fraser McHugh has to cover the run. Played back to Andy Liddell. Liddell skips through one challenge, but McHugh will get there first. Danger isn't totally clear. It's back with the shades of Jeb Brannan. He's somewhat hesitant in the midfield. Ball played short. Ashcroft looks to get on the end of it. Didn't really run at it 100% there, Lee Ashcroft. He's never favourite to win the ball, but the Swindon Town keeper made it sure it was his. Bradshaw trying to take the free kick quickly, but easily intercepts it. Zazu with a poor ball. Immediately apologises for it. McCulloch is the target. Reeves gets the head on it. Zazu up strongly. McCulloch. Lovely skill. Tried to play it through for Liddell. You could see the intention. Unfortunately, he didn't quite get the pass off as he would like to have done. Bradshaw up strongly with Williams. Hughes ball forward, interception from McMillan. Now this is Peter Beagrie. Played in field to McCulloch. McCulloch takes charge. Just about gets it through to Stuart Barmer. We're going to start again from their defensive quarters. McMillan slipped as he tried to elude the challenge of Williams and got away with it, the Scotsman. McCulloch's ball forward, and he was looking for forward runners. He's made the space well. So Stephen McMillan, ball through the centre. Ashcroft is the target. Hayward rises ahead of him. Reeves takes no chances with the clearance. Just approaching the midpoint in the first half here at the JJB. Wigan Athletic 0, Swindon Town 0. The Latics having the best of the opening so far. Here's Ashcroft, beaten to it on the edge of the area by Hayward, and Ashcroft impeded the Swindon Town defender. King is instructing Mr. Robinson to switch positions. Slight tactical change from the Swindon Town boss. Sheridan forces Barmer wide with the pass, but Barmer has time to bring it down with his chest. McCulloch was the forward runner, dealt with by Van der Linden. Sheridan's header back. McCulloch takes off his chance. Ashcroft, but he was just offside, and the referee will allow the game to continue. Reddy's done really well to get on the end of that. And Carroll will eventually get good distance on the clearance. Volleyed back by Van der Linden. Brazil up strongly. Hughes ball. Toe poke forward. Bradshaw in strongly. Sheridan collides with Williams. Sheridan in again. Tigerish work in the midfield from Darren Sheridan. And now McMillan takes over, and suddenly there's space on the far side. McMillan can use it. Finds in the shape of Peter Beagrie. Little trying to get up in the attack. Beagrie looks to go alone. And still goes Beagrie. Swindon managed to get bodies behind the ball. This is Darren Sheridan. Harry Ndazoo. There's a Swindon Town player still uninjured on this near side. And the game's continuing though. The referee has allowed it to go on. This is Peter Beagrie. Crossed into the area looking for Ashcroft, but it's too far ahead of the Wigan striker. David Duke is back on his feet, although he's managed to require some extra treatment on this near side. It certainly was a very hefty challenge in the midfield. Swindon Town momentarily down to 10 men. Reeves with the header. Volley clear by Williams. Reddy trying to control it. Header into the path of Danny Vincible. Little got a piece of it. Invincible continues the run. Bradshaw with the compromising clearance. Duke is back on the field of play. Swindon back to their full quota of 11. Still trying to stay on side. Can't take any stride. Won by Peter Beagrie ahead of two Swindon players. Van der Linden's clearance. Total miscue from Stuart Barmer. Luckily enough, Bradshaw was there to clear. Brannan. Beagrie has space. It's quickly closed down though. Barmer in acres of room on the far side. Opts the plate short to Andy Little, who's one-on-one with Invincible. Rolled inside to Darren Sheridan. McMillan wants the ball short, that's where it goes. McMillan now, his first chance for the Swindon defence. Puts it deep to the far post, and it's too deep in fact. McCulloch couldn't keep it in play. That was the first time we really saw Steve McMillan with a little bit of space to run at the Swindon Town defence, but the cross was always going over the crossbar. Robinson, slight suspicions of handball, now ready over the top. Zoo with the challenge, just gone out for the throw in. Both Michael Reddy and Gary Alexander holding away bravely up front for Swindon Town this afternoon. And number 19, Matt Hayward, has positioned himself on the near post for a possible long throw in. Aimed into the area. Sheridan with the acrobatic clearance, only as far as James Williams. Robinson takes over. Swindon, you feel, growing in confidence. This is McHugh. Back to Robinson. McCulloch closing him down quickly. Van der Linden. McCulloch once more getting a piece of it. Van der Linden heading it forward. Not the best of headers. McCulloch doing his most to make a nuisance to himself. Zoo with a good header. Who's being fouled all the way by Alexander. Good flick from Sheridan. Reeves with the header back to his goalkeeper. McCulloch with the control on the chest. The pass has forced Stuart Barmer back to his goalkeeper though. Beasley up in midfield with Robinson. McHugh. It's back with Van der Linden. Ball played through the centre, looking for Reddy. Sheridan picks up pieces in midfield. Now this is McMillan. McMillan flips it forward, looking for Ashcroft. Ashcroft, good control on the thigh. Tried to slip it through for Little, but the referee, to his credit, allowed it to go as long as he possibly could. And then brought back the first infringement. The referee very adamant as to where the free kick could be taken from. This is just some 3 or 4 yards back from where Peter Beagrie hit it. Taken short to Stephen McMillan. McMillan short to Beagrie. Beasley back to Arian Dazoo. McMillan short to Ashcroft. Ashcroft good control. McMillan now trying to take it in stride. Just in the bubble. Couldn't quite take the pass he would like to have done. Beasley picks out Stuart Barmer on the far side. This is Andy Liddle. Not seen much of Liddle in the first half. Finds McMillan. 5 off in the attack. If McMillan can deliver, he's put it into the area, but it's a comfortable catch for the goalkeeper. Meantime, the Swindon Town boss, Andy King, is going to make a first half substitution. Gareth Hall is stripped off and ready for action. Going through the motions at the moment, Gareth Hall. He's going back, or rather into the first team action sooner than what he thinks. Zeus header. McMillan knocks it forward. Hayward should get there ahead of Ashcroft and puts it out of play. Meantime, the substitution is now going to be made. Number 11, David Duke, can't continue. And Hall is coming on. So a straight swap in the midfield for the Robins. This is Beagrey. Beagrey trying to make that half yard of space. Sheridan fed into Ashcroft. Ashcroft, McMillan, the forward runner. And the last touch came off Hayward, and we're going to have another corner. Once more, Arian Dazoo and Stuart Barmer join in from the attack. Andy Liddle and Peter Beagrey over this set piece. Beagrey flips it into the area, looking for the header of Ashcroft. Ashcroft's header just over the bar. Making use of himself. Good interception from Beagrey. Hayward will get a clearance in. Beagrey into Sheridan. Hall with his first touch. Wigan win it back. McMillan running at the Swindon defence. Clipped into the area. Maybury to Ashcroft. He couldn't quite take it in his stride. Came at a difficult height for Lee Ashcroft. Couldn't begin to get a hold of the volley, but with some good persistence in the midfield from McMillan and Sheridan, carved out somewhat of a half chance for Ashcroft. He didn't begin to control the shot. 10 minutes to go to the interval. Latics 0, Robins 0. Wigan just the one clear-cut chance in the shape of Andy Liddle. On a part, they've had a header from McCulloch that was easily saved. Swindon to their credit, frustrated Wigan as best they possibly can. As yet not created anything in terms of a clear-cut chance. Good work from Sheridan. Rolls it short to Andy Liddle. Liddle looking through the centre. Hayward, the Swindon defender. He's going to have to get a clearance in. Ashcroft did well to chase it down. Good header from McMillan. The Zoo puts it through the centre. Ashcroft up with Hayward. Clearance from Hall. Brannan. Short to McCulloch. Beagre's the forward runner. Reeves is the covering defender. Beagre's done well to get a piece of it, but Reeves can find his goalkeeper. And he puts it out of play. Beagre, good control on the ball. Makes that half yard of space twice. Tries to get the cross in, but it was well blocked. Dazoo in really strongly. And a combination of Dazoo and McMillan win the ball back for Latics. Alexander holds it well. McHugh looking for Invincible. Invincible can't get past the challenge of Andy Liddle, who's done good defensive work in this opening 35 minutes here at the JJB. In somewhat unfamiliar territory on the right-hand side of the defence. Swindon happy to leave 2-on-2 at the back. Free kick put into the area, looking for Reeves, well headed by Stuart Barmer. This is Robinson. Sheridan close at him. It's Invincible. Back to Robinson once more. Sheridan. It's a good tackling in this opening half. Alexander prevents the goal kick. Little as well to volley the clearance away. Sheridan, now the space for McMillan. Played short to Beagre. Beagre in turn finds McMillan. McMillan looking to run at the Swindon defence, trying to go around the outside. That's a good challenge from Williams. Look at the task well. Reddy trying to get around Dazoo. Reddy has the ball, just one in the attack at the moment. Tries to wrap his foot around the cross and it goes onto the roof of the net. Towering header from Reeves. Alexander making a nuisance himself ahead of Stuart Barmer. It's really been the story of the match so far. Latics have certainly bossed the possession of it. Clear-cut chances have been few and far between. And Swindon, to their credit, are slowly but surely coming back into the game, growing in confidence, and just in the shapes of Reddy, who is trying to get around the back of the Wigan defence alongside Alexander. The longer it stays at 0-0, the longer that Swindon have the chance. Free kick put into the penalty area. Danger's not cleared yet. Reddy eludes one challenge, has options in the shape of Robinson. McHugh comes back to Van der Linden. Everything ahead of Van der Linden at the moment. Barmer took it off the toes, played short, and Carroll eventually puts the right boot through it. Brannan's header, luckily hits it back. This is Darren Sheridan. Sheridan with screams of man on. Ashcroft, good turn from Ashcroft, tries to slip it through to McCulloch. McCulloch couldn't quite turn in time. Minutes to go to the break. Latics still looking for the first goal. This is Carl Bradshaw. Hops from McMillan on this near side. McMillan's short header. Beagre can't quite keep it in play. It's always going to take time when you have so many new players in at once. Bear in mind that Jeb Brannan and Peter Beagre only made their home debuts a couple of weeks ago. A whole new look to this Wigan Athletic team these days. Bradshaw, he's to move forward if he wants to. He's looking for the run of Liddell. Well intercepted by Invincible. Liddell does well to keep it in play. This is McCulloch, just Ashcroft in the centre. McCulloch drives it into the near post. Not a bad option that from the Scotsman. Could have ricocheted off friend or foe. In the end it did neither. The throw has gone out of play. Beasley was trying to be cheeky and take a free kick. It is eventually going to restart with a throw in on this near side. But Miller now looking for options. Only Beasley and Ashcroft showing front at the moment. McCulloch. Reeves muscles him out of possession. McHugh bring it away for Swindon. And with the left-footed ball forward, just out of play. Challenge from Hall, headed back by Bradshaw. A foul on Hayward by Ashcroft. Swindon have a free kick. McCulloch got the final touch on it, although both referee and linesman agree that it was a Swindon player that flicked off into the last minute of the first half. Sheridan looking for Ashcroft. Beasley keeps it in play, tries to put a ball into the air, looking for McCulloch. Header away by Van der Linden. Ball over the top. Ashcroft looking to get there ahead of Hayward. Hayward eventually gets a clearance in. Beasley keeping the pressure on to Latics. Ball to aim for in the area if Beasley can deliver. Tries to get a half yard of space. He was well closed down by Robinson. That was his last touch at the expense of the corner kick. 2 minutes to stoppage time to add at the end of the first half. It's timely boost for Colin Green on his management team if the Latics can get in front now. Both have now gone nearly 3.5 games without a goal. Beasley. And it's a comfortable catch for the goalkeeper. And no challenge against him either. Good header from Dazoo ahead of Alexander. McHugh was always caught offside. Good header from Carl Bradshaw. Harry Ndazou with one last attack in his first half. Looking to the run of Ashcroft. Ashcroft controls well. Trying to hold off Hayward. Roll back to Beagrie. Beagrie has 2 men to lose. Can't quite do so, although the linesman has indicated there was an infringement on the near side. Wigan have won a free kick. Carl Bradshaw looks to whip it in dangerously. And in time the lines on this near side is having to have the flag substituted. I've seen that in the game before. Bradshaw puts it in. Header towards goal, just onto the roof of the net. Once more it was Lee Ashcroft on the near post. Better delivery into the box from Carl Bradshaw. Ashcroft's header just turned onto the roof of the... Referee brings 45 minutes at the JDB Stadium to an end. Colin Green Allsorts his first game in charge of the Latics. Now there's not been too much in the shape of clear-cut chances. Latics have certainly been dogged in the tackle in the shapes of Darren Sheridan and the debutant Stephen McMillan. But in terms of clear-cut chances, they've been few and far between, and Swindon, to their credit, have frustrated Wigan at every opportunity. Half-time score here at the JDB Stadium is Wigan Athletic 0, Swindon Town 0. Welcome back to the JDB Stadium for the second half of this nationwide League Division 2 clash between Wigan Athletic and Swindon Town. Latics to kick off the second half, attacking the goal to our right, and the new boss Colin Green certainly looking for a vastly improvement in his side's performance in the next 45 minutes. No change at half-time, just Swindon's first half substitute, Gareth Hall. There's a chance to the centre of McCulloch. And straight away the Latics trying to press home the advantage. Sheridan battling away with Alexander. The referee keep an eye on it. Hall, good interception from Ali Ndazou. Played short to Lee Ashcroft. Ashcroft into Beagrie, back to Jeb Brannan. Sheridan so pokes it into the path of Stuart Barmer. Barmer in turn finds Andy Liddell. Liddell now looking to move in field. Tries to slip it through for Ashcroft. Wasn't the best of passes. Ashcroft trying to keep pressure on Liddell with the shots in anger. Always rising over the crossbar. Ball played forward by Alexander. Reddy looking to get on the end of it. Good challenge from Arian Ndazou. Little takes off the toes of Invincible. Ashcroft, good control on the chest. Roll back to Jeb Brannan. Brannan goes past one challenge and then the second. Finds McMillan on the far side. McMillan, good first touch. Has Sheridan in support. That's where the ball is aimed. Sheridan doing his utmost to keep it in play, but can't quite do so. Swindon boss Andy King will be more than satisfied with his team's opening 45 minutes work. Allowing the Latics to do just 1 or 2 pot shots at goal. No real test for Steve Duncan-Hall in the Swindon Town goal. The first touch was good, but was quickly taken off his toes. McMillan, good turn, tries to put the ball in early. Header from Van der Linden out of the play. Behind for the corner kick. Vocal support from the Latics faithful. He's managed to win the corner on the far side. Bradshaw, the in-swinger, looking for McCulloch. Van der Linden once more getting his head to it. Goes out for another corner. The Latics building the pressure on. Bradshaw now taking these in-swinging corners for Wigan. Slipped into the near post, easily dealt with by Hall. Beagrie, back to Bradshaw. Bradshaw, first time ball into the area. Dazoo is up on the far post. Header away. But the referee has seen an infringement from the Wigan captain. And the pressure is eased on the Swindon Town defence. Brannan up well ahead of 2 Swindon players. Little in strongly, wins it back well. Ashcroft tries to slip it through from McCulloch. Somewhat poor clearance from the goalkeeper. So Wigan have the throw in. Ashcroft forced away. Sheridan and Robinson, and the referee is having to pull that back as Sheridan somewhat lashed out at the Swindon midfielder. Van der Linden in no great hurry to take this free kick. Reeves has gone alongside the strikers up front. His header on into the area, and Roy Carroll eventually with the gather at the edge of his 6-yard box. Hacks it downfield. Ashcroft is looking to get on the end of it. There's good covering from Robinson. Brannan finds Ashcroft. Ashcroft rolls it back to McMillan. McMillan, good first touch. It's with Darren Sheridan. Barmer up in the attack. This is Stuart Barmer, edge of the area, strikes at goal. It's not a bad effort. And the goalkeeper makes the save. Robinson's done really well, and likewise Reedy to win the throw-in off Harry and Dazoo. Sheridan in strongly for the challenge. And he's won the throw-in for his side as well. turn into a cul-de-sac. No real space for him. Good touch from McMillan. Zoo short for Carroll, and Carroll gets the left-footed clearance away. Beagley tries to turn it in field. And ball will find its way to McHugh. Brannan faces him. He's ready in space. Good work from McMillan to take it off his toes. Splendid covering work from Stephen McMillan. This is Robinson. A little bit of space now for Robinson to try and get a cross in. Has to check. Roll back, shot comes in from Hall. Always rising over the crossbar. Handling up ahead of McCulloch. Ball knocked high. Ashcroft trying to make a nuisance for himself, but in the opinion of the referee, he charged into Alan Reeves, and Swindon have the free kick. Invincible's header back in field. Touched on by Alexander. Bradshaw's clearance. Volleyed forward. Bradshaw once more with the header. McMillan tries to lose the challenge. And will accept the free kick. Danny Invincible. Ball played forward. Touchdown by McHugh. Bradshaw in with a solid challenge. The last touch was off Robinson, but the referee has overruled. Needs time as a bit of a scuffle off the ball there with one of the Wigan players and the Swindon striker. Somewhat unnecessary. The referee is obviously going to have to quick word here. Scott Green, who is the Wigan sub, was involved in a headlock with the Swindon player. How will the linesman and referee interpret this? Well, Green, who isn't on the field at the moment, and the referee and linesman are having a consultation over what happened. So Green is being called across to the referee and is going to receive some form of caution. Now, bear in mind that Scott Green isn't on the field of play. It would appear he's going to receive a booking or a sending off for what happened on this near touchline. Scott Green has received a yellow card for an incident that happened off the field with the Swindon player, and Green, of course, isn't even playing at the moment. It's somewhat of a unique caution, to say the least. Millen short to Peter Beagrie as the players try and get themselves back on the task ahead. Good header from Arian Dazoo. Now Carl Bradshaw. Stuart Barmer can bring it forward for the Latics. Barmer sprays it through the centre, looking for McCulloch. McCulloch with the control. Gets the rub of the green. Has supporting McMillan. Ashcroft's in the centre also. This is Beagrie. Beagrie puts the ball into the area, but it's a comfortable catch for the goalkeeper. Somewhat disappointing end to that Wigan attack. This is Hall. Little with the interception. And Carroll with a good distance on the clearance. Van der Linden. Happy to knock it out of play on the near side. Approaching the hour here at the JGB Stadium. Still goalless. And Wigan have now gone nearly 4 matches without a goal. Reeves. Roll back to the goalkeeper. And Mildenhall happy to concede the throw-in, which Balmer will look to quickly take. Ashcroft. Roll back to Liddell. Liddell puts it into the area. Brannan. Can he make the half-yard of space? It's back to Ashcroft. Inside the area. Beagrie drives it in. Cleared almost on the goal line. McCulloch couldn't get the touch home. And it was Haywood who hacked it away for the corner. Peter Beagrie to deliver. Put into the far post. A poor punch from the goalkeeper. Ball over the top, looking for Beagrie from Jeb Brannan, but he wasn't going to get that ball. Activity on the Wigan bench below us. Colin Greenall looking to make his first substitution. Reeves puts it out of play for the throw-in. As if Neil Roberts, the striker, is kitted up and ready to make an impact on this match. Alexander as well, looks for Reddy. Reddy controls it, and now Swindon on the counter-attack with Reddy looking to get in the area. Eludes the challenge of Arian Dazoo. Half supporting Robinson. Robinson puts the ball into the area. Header away by Jeb Brannan, and he'll look to pick up his initial header also. Beagrie. Interception from Robinson. Robinson down the line for Reddy. Just one in the area at the moment. Good challenge by McMillan. Beagrie. Now we need support. Being pushed all the way. Looks over the top for Andy Liddell. Liddell did well to keep it in play. And the game being stretched. Ball to the centre. Barmer up with Alexander. Possibilities of a infringement there from the Wigan centre half, but nothing given. Well, I think the crowd rather give that decision, as They were in disgust at the challenge from Alan Reeves. Alan Reeves has obviously spoken out of turn. He's going to get a yellow card for his troubles. In time, the substitution is going to be made. Peter Beagley's number has come up, and Neil Roberts is coming on to replace him. So Neil Roberts will have somewhere a little under 30 minutes to make an impact on the game. So Wigan have this free kick. Meantime, the referee has implemented the advancement to the 10-yard rule, and the free kick has moved forward. So Latics have a golden opportunity here to strike towards goal. Six-man wall ahead of them. Sheridan and Bradshaw look the more likely to have a pop at goal. Liddell and Jeb Brannan are the two players over the ball. Three other Wigan players also in the attack. Sheridan strikes towards goal, but straight into the wall. The Swindon Town wall did its job. McCulloch, good first touch. Three to aim for in the box, not the worst cross. Awkward clearance, eventually it's hacked clear. Chance there in the centre, Ashcroft, what a golden opportunity he had. Didn't realise the space he was in. Brannan kept the pressure on with a header back towards goal, and Ashcroft didn't connect. Wigan start once more with Stuart Barmer. Barmer over the top, looking for Ashcroft, but the keeper's just going to get there first. Liddell, good control on the chest. Knocked down the line. Van der Linden will have to get a clearance in. Ashcroft's got a piece of it, and Van der Linden will settle for a throw-in. There's Wigan skipper Ali and Desir. Everything out of it at the moment. Rolled short to Roberts. Roberts puts it over the top. Reeves. Well, he was looking for some communication from his goalkeeper because he completely missed the clearance. Neither of the Wigan strikers reacted to it. Roberts, good first touch from Neil Roberts. Usually brings Andy Liddell into play. Liddell can run at goal himself, feeds it in, but Van der Linden got a piece of it at the expense of the corner. Both McCulloch and Ashcroft wanted the ball played to the far post. They didn't get anywhere near either of them. Sheridan's corner, easily dealt with on the near post. Invincible, first touch away. Bradshaw into Sheridan, to Brannan. Brannan, good running from Carl Bradshaw. Bradshaw, everything to his left, feeds into the near post. Great cross, Ashcroft couldn't turn it in. So close. Ashcroft couldn't get the telling touch after some marvellous play by Carl Bradshaw. Combined well with Darren Sheridan on this near side, put a glorious ball into the box. Ashcroft couldn't turn it goalwards. Good work from Robinson. This is McHugh. Ball played forward by Van der Linden. Bradshaw at well. Sheridan should be able to continue the clearance. Brannan did well to bring it away from two players. Andy Little looking for the run of Roberts. Reeves will have to do the running back, and he has to put it out for a throw-in. Latics slowly but surely growing in the confidence. Brannan will leave it for Andy Little. Roberts looking for options ahead of him. There's very few at the moment. Roberts does well to feed Little again. Little slows down by Invincible at the expense of another corner. Sheridan once more with the in-swinger. Movement on the near post. Aims to far. Where are introduced? Towers up. Good save the keeper. And they're all piling in. Eventually, the referee's going to sort out the melee. It was Arian who rose above the Swindon Town defenders. The goalkeeper made the save, and then the ball seems to be spilled. That allowed Ashcroft and McCulloch to dive in. Not too aggressively for the referee's liking. Farmer asking a lot of Little to keep that in play. The game's going to restart with a Swindon Town free kick midway inside the Latics half. McHugh aims it towards the edge of the box. McMillan got a piece of it. Ball's back to Robinson. Robinson puts a deep one into the box, which Carroll will eventually gather. And look to boost it downfield. 3 against 3 at the back. Robinson plays through. McCulloch inside the area. Can he get a shot in? Not quite. It was a good challenge from Invincible. Brannan trying to keep the pressure on. Lose one challenge. This is Andy Little. Back to Stuart Barmer. Bradshaw rolls it short to Darren Sheridan. Sheridan looking for the run of McMillan. Tries to pick him out. McMillan can't quite keep it in play. That's the last 20 minutes. Still goalless. Wigan showing signs that they're going to be the more likely. Alexander, Bradshaw in well. And Bradshaw's gone down under the challenge. Nursing the injury. Neil Roberts. Sheridan with the toe poke through, but he was caught late by Hall, and Sheridan and Hall go in an eyeball confrontation. Carl Bradshaw looks to have shrugged off the slight injury he picked up then. We're going to have the free kick. Bradshaw looking for McCulloch, headed away by Alan Reeves. This is McMillan. McMillan's header in. Maybury back to McMillan. In Maybury to Andy Little, edge of the area. Tries to clip it into the danger zone. Volley clear, and Alexander should be able to continue a clearance. Gareth Hall looking down the line for Reddy, but he's not going anywhere near that pass. McCulloch laid off well for Jeb Brannan. Brannan looking over the top for Andy Little, who's onside. Little controls on the chest, forced away from goal. Has Invincible climbing all over him. Referee's allowed the advantage though. Little trying to break into the area. Roll back to Darren Sheridan. Sheridan through towards goal. Oh, he's just rising over the crossbar. Well, he shapes up for the shot well, Darren Sheridan. And Little doing all the spade work on the near side, presenting the opportunity for Sheridan. Didn't get the shot on target. Over the top, Alexander will continue to chase. Bradshaw does well to head it back to Roy Carroll. Palmer took a chance and put Bradshaw under pressure. Bradshaw knocks it down the line looking for Ashcroft. Good control from Ashcroft. So trying to slip it through for Little. Good interception. Swindon have it back with Alan Reeves. Roberts will look to close down the goalkeeper. Palmer's got a piece of it. The decision is given in favour of Swindon. Bradshaw's clearance. Reeves likewise puts it back, turns Bradshaw around. Reedy trying to make a nuisance to himself. Bradshaw does well to win the throw in. Ashcroft with a shot towards goal. That's the goalkeeper has all day to gather. Bradshaw with the header. Palmer can't get to it. Now Swindon have an opportunity with Alexander. This is Invincible. Puts the ball into the far post. Zoo with the header. Sheridan with a half clearance. Robinson will look to keep the pressure on though. Zoo once more with a good towering header. Roberts does really well. This is Andy Little. Ashcroft trying to stay on side. Little fires it through the centre. Looking for McCulloch. May break to Jeb Brannan. Good challenge on him by Robinson. Brannan will get the ricochet though. Robinson once more gets a piece of it. Bradshaw out to McMillan, who's been playing more of a left back role in this second half. Seen very little of the ball. Now to go all the way back to the goalkeeper. McCulloch looked well. Ashcroft tried to slip it through for Little, couldn't quite do so. Good challenge from Palmer. Wigan win it back. This is Carl Bradshaw. Bradshaw skips inside one. Plays to Sheridan. Sheridan looking for the run of Ashcroft, who's not going to keep it in play. Scott Green is ready for action. He's going to be the last 30 minutes or so here at the JJB. I don't know which player is going to come on for. Zoo up head of Reedy. And we're going to have the free kick. Arian the Zoo anxious to get on with proceedings. Taken short to Stuart Palmer. Everything ahead of Stuart Palmer at the moment. Rolled short to Neil Roberts. Back to Andy Little. Little now trying to break into the penalty area. Roll back to Sheridan. Sheridan edge of the area. Tries to clip it through. And everyone was on side. The pass was a good one, but none of the Wigan attackers seemed to react to it. Alexander back into the path of Reedy. Palmer plays it back to Carroll. Carroll happy to get a clearance in. This is Carl Bradshaw. Little wants the ball. Bradshaw couldn't find him with the pass. Swindon have it once more. Robinson looking over the top for Alexander. Carroll will always get there first. Van der Linden's header in field. Robinson does well to find Gareth Hall. No one's tracking Gareth Hall at the moment, so he's allowed to carry the ball forward. Hugh puts the cross in. Header away from Carl Bradshaw. Danger still not cleared though. Cross comes into the far post. Just out of play. The substitution is now going to be made. Scott Green is being introduced. I'll take it off number 10, Lee Ashcroft. I'm not certain whether will allow Scott Green to go on the right hand side of the attack and Andy Little go up front. So Little, as we mentioned, is going to roll and partner Neil Roberts up front. McCulloch's going to play in just behind, and Scott Green is going to play on the right hand side of midfield. McKillum doesn't get the rub of the green. Two Swindon players beat into the ball. Reeves with the ball over the top. Reedy will look to react to it. Zoo gets his head to it. The final touch was off Reedy. And we're going to have the throw in. Roberts can't control it. Ball played to McCulloch. It's with Sheridan. Sheridan has to check. Played short to McKillum. Ball over the top. McCulloch will look to chase it. Reeves just got a clearance away in time. Ball still in play. This is Carl Bradshaw. Checks one way. Looks to feed in Roberts. Can't find him with the pass though. Well won back by Sheridan. Well, it looks to have been well won back, but the referee disagrees. 10 minutes to go. Still goalless here at the JGB Stadium. Wigan certainly threatened at the start of the second half, but the threat has somewhat gone away. And now it's Swindon who look to ask one or two questions of the Latics defence. Pressure kept on. Balmer's header. Green back to Roy Carroll. Carroll with a long kick downfield, dealt with by Van der Linden. This is Arian Dazoo. Carl Bradshaw. Bradshaw looking over the top for Scott Green, but easily intercepted by Van der Linden. Swindon are going to make their second substitution in the shape of Giuliano Grazioli. As soon as another breaking play. This is Stuart Balmer. Everything ahead of him. He's encouraged to move forward. Three on the far post. One of them is Little. Little shot on the turn, head toward goal. And a good save by Milden Hall. Balmer's header. Invincible. Green will look to get on the end of it. Tries to feed it down the line for McCulloch. McCulloch gets around the back. Two to aim from the box and McCulloch can deliver. Has to check back to Green. Green inside the area. Opportunity here for the Latics. Puts it to the far post, but there's no one there. And it disappoints when it goes out of play. The substitution is now going to be made by Andy King. Giuliano Grazioli, who famously scored that FA Cup goal for Stevenage against Newcastle United some seasons ago. He's coming on in place of number 16 Michael Reddy. And straight swap up front. McKillen's header forward. Roberts and McCulloch somewhat got in each other's way. Somewhat awkward clearance from Reeves. Sheridan. McKillen's been muscled out of it by Grazioli, but Wigan have it back with Ali and Dazoo. Dazoo eventually gets the clearance in. Invincible with the header back. Van der Linden, well closed down by Neil Roberts. McKillen, good first touch. Now he'll look to run down the left-hand side. How's Liddell in support? Opts for Darren Sheridan. Green makes a good run to the far post. Invincible gets the final touch on it. It's out for the throw-in. Approaching the last 5 minutes. And Wigan get themselves in front. Green looking to launch a long throw-in in. Appeals for a penalty, and loud appeals mainly from the supporters for the tugging of the shirt, but the referees allow the game to continue. And now it's with Alexander on the counter-attack for Swindon. Has support to his right. James Williams. Williams can move in field. Back to Gareth Hall. Hall opts for Robinson. Swindon quite happy to run the clock down at the moment. Ball fell over the top. Dazoo with an interception. McKillen off the Swindon Mayor for the throw-in. Brown with a good cushion header back to Roy Cowell. Cowell's encouraged to get it downfield quickly. Roberts will go up with Van der Linden. Roberts gets a touch on it, but the referee penalises Neil Roberts for the challenge. Swindon have the free kick once more. Of course, Latics going to be back in league action here again on Tuesday night against Notts County. Wigan, of course, only 2 wins in their last 8. Are they going to add to that miserable run at the moment with another 2 points dropped here at the JJB Stadium? Of course, they're still undefeated here, but never really looking like scoring a goal. McCulloch looking to stretch the legs of Alan Reeves. Reeves happy to concede the throw-in. Bradshaw took a chance. Looks to pick out McKillen. It's back with Darren Sheridan. Forced to aim for in the box. Header from Brannan. Never going towards the goal. Farmer, Grazioli as the Swindon striker. Throw-in given in favour of Swindon. It's more Van der Linden in no great hurry to take the throw-in. The referee has seen the infringement, so we're going to have the free kick. Carroll, not the best of free kicks. Good touch from Brannan. Green Back to Brannan. Brannan puts it through the centre. McCulloch will look to make a nuisance of himself. Reeves got the touch on it. It's gone out for the throw-in. Approaching the last minute of the game. Green. Danger not cleared yet. Sheridan has it back to Carl Bradshaw. Carroll will drill it downfield, looking for Green. Good header away by Van der Linden. Wigan have the throw-in. Touch from Van der Linden. Poor clearance. It may break to Harry and Zoo up in the attack. Danger not cleared. It's back to Scott Green. Green will look to deliver the cross. Oh, he's checked and lost the ball. Needed to put the ball into the area. Wigan had 5 or 6 up in the attack. Carroll knocks it downfield. Brannan's touch on. Clearance from Hall. Bradshaw up strongly, trying to keep the pressure on. Robert switched it to McCulloch. Just a little in the attack at the moment. McCulloch, can he deliver a ball into the area? He lays it back to Darren Sheridan. Sheridan puts it into far post. There's 3 Wigan men there. And in the end, it's a tame header. It's a stoppage time now at the end of the game here at the JJB. 2 minutes of added time by the referee, Mr. Robinson. Grazioli now will take it right into the corner. Try and use all his experience. Possibly look for more, puts the cross in. It's a dangerous one. Nobody really attacks it. Roberts seems to have his shirt all slimed all over. The referee has allowed it to go on. Sheridan. Van der Linden with a good header back to his goalkeeper. The Zoo hacks it through the centre. Good header from Hall. Zoo's header. Sheridan. Back to Stuart Barmer. Maybe one last chance for Latics to get themselves a goal. Barmer puts it through the centre. Looking for McCulloch. McCulloch, good control. Chance here for Latics. McCulloch shoots towards goal. And it's a unusual save from the goalkeeper. He had certainly more time than that to get it. Are they going to have time to get this corner kick in? The referee's already had 1 or 2 looks at the watch. Little will be encouraged to get it into the box quickly. It drills it into near post. Header from Roberts. He may go into the goal. And the calmest man on the field. Well, all the players are appealing for a corner. And Gareth Hall just allowed it to go past the post. As calm as you like, out for the goal kick. And with it, you feel Latics' last chance of getting themselves in front. Barmer with the header. Sheridan. The referee brings another game here at the JDB Stadium to a somewhat disappointing end for the Latics once more. They've failed to register a goal, and alongside it the 3 points also. It's now 4 games without a goal for the Latics, just 2 victories in 9, albeit maintaining their unbeaten record here at the JDB Stadium. It's another disappointing performance. 2 points dropped against a lowly Swindon Town side. relegation haunted, but to their credit they battled away and possibly in the end deserved the point, because Wigan just didn't quite do enough to get themselves in front. On the plus side, good performances from the likes of McKillen and McCulloch, who toiled well up front. In the end, just didn't do enough. Ashcroft possibly missing the best opportunity, and he couldn't quite get on the end of Andy Little's cross. But it finished once more disappointingly here at the JDB Stadium. Wigan Athletic 0, Swindon Town 0.